I'm gonna have to go find the response now.
He basically said, at Catherine Ramsland issued a statement about my recent piece. Number one, she confirmed she reached out to BK's parents after arrest. She said she didn't. Number two, she refutes that BK emailed her while at ISU. No, she didn't. He says, I apologize for that error. Continued. He basically is like, she confirmed it. She refutes. Sorry for the error. Moving on. It's
And
not.
that was his thing. Is I'm sorry for the mix
I
up and
apologize for the error. Continued. Like he doesn't get, and it's like,
wow.
yeah, yeah, like, bro. I know we're trying to have a little show here before, I don't know, before I give up and we just see you back Wednesday night. I don't know. This is what you get for a few minutes here. Love you guys. But yeah,
But
that was
no,
the
I didn't
response.
know that he had responded.
That's the response. Yeah, he responded shortly after she, because Brian Etten early this morning, shout out Rosee. Brian Etten early this morning put out a tweet, or no, I think it was last night, put out a tweet uh, and said, look, I know Ramsland personally. This is, and she said, this is absolutely not true. None of it. And then the statement that she had was a text message to Brian Etten because she didn't ever want to go on the record because she's probably going to be a witness. So she didn't ever want to go on the record about Coburg or anything to not taint the trial. And so she was like, here, you can, I'm sure he was like, is this a statement that I can put out there? Because she didn't want to be on the record. She would talk, but not on the record. And so that text message was to Brian Etten from Ramsland, and she allowed him to put it out there because she wanted people to know that what Howard Blum was stating was absolute false, and she wanted to state, without a doubt, like, this is not true, and so that was his response, like, sorry for the error, moving on. And it goes to everything I was saying, before. Like, he's from an era where you got to have three fact check sources before you even peep anything. And this is how loose he is with his lips. But it makes me wonder. Because Howard Bloom, I mean, it makes me wonder how many of these people are in Steve's ear
Right.
telling him this stuff. I bet you Howard Bloom and Steve have had plenty of conversations.
And see, that's the problem too. Is like you said, Bloom. He's from an era that he knows better. He knows to fact check. He knows you can't just put stuff out there.
He's from I mean, how old is the dude?
That's
He's
what I'm
got to be
saying.
in
I
his
mean,
70s.
yeah. I mean, he like you said. He was reporting when you had to fact check.
Well, yeah, he had to have been. He was born in 1948.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
Okay, so by 20 years, 1968, he was already a journalist.
Right.
Uh, you're hello, like, we're going off. Think about, remember Dan Rather?
Yes.
Remember when Dan Rather said something that wasn't true and put it out into the national media, and then it came back that it wasn't, and he didn't fact check like you were supposed to, and Dan Rather got fired?
Oh, I know. I mean, that's the thing about it is that's the reason I said that he knows better. I
And
mean,
that was in the early 2000s, right?
right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was in early mid 2000s. We're talking about 1968. This dude knows better. This dude, I'm gonna go off if I talk about it, but all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Sorry, you guys. We'll try again here in a couple nights. I need
Hey,
to
before we end this, I have a
fix
question
this.
for Yoli.
Yeah.
because Yoli's in here. Hey, Yoli, if you look up property information and it says University Ad Subdivision, what does that mean?
I can't believe this thing's not working.
Well, hey, we're having a show.
I know, but it's I can't.
Yoli says the show can go like this with thunder and rain in the background while Nena and CJ discuss things.
Uh, yeah, but there's pictures that we were supposed to show, videos that we were supposed to show. I'm really this thunder. This is this is like 10, no, 6 times the level of volume that I normally have music playing while we're talking. So it's very very distracting.
Well, we
Uh,
gave it a valiant effort.
yeah, I could just let no, uh, and I had to.
And it's not changing. I mean, it doesn't seem to be fixing itself.
I don't. Can I show a comment? Does it show? Oh my gosh! It shows the comment. It just hasn't allocated our resources like our
Oh my gosh.
cameras or the availability to change the screen. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if this works.
Caddy Crime says it's a talk show.
Oh, it's got Nena full screen for some reason. Yeah, this is not working out here. I don't know. Hold on. Maybe if I let me back out and come back in and see
Okay,
if.
I'm muting.
All right, hold on. Oh, cool.
Okay, so CJ, you're going to tell a scary story and I'm going to scream.
All right. I think it's going to work.
Hey.
Whoa, stuff disappeared.
Hey, but
What?
we're on screen.
What the heck? Hold on.
Hey, y'all.
Let's see. This is really weird. Like everything disappeared. Okay, there's. Yeah, this is crazy. Let me get some music going here. I need some feeding ducks. Okay. Do I have to do this to every one of them? Okay, there's that one. Yeah, I apologize. Okay, we got that, in that. Okay. What a shit. All right. So here's the what Catherine Ramsland wrote to Brian Enton when it came to what Howard Bloom said. You know, we were discussing it last night. We've been discussing it the last few shows, and so you know, it's basically breaking it all down. Like, you know, I had no email correspondence with Brian Koberger while he was at WSU. He has not been in touch with me since his arrest. I called his parents as a gesture of kindness, but I did not advise them about the case. Um, I did not call them hours after the arrest, as Bloom claims. I've never talked to his sister about any book. I never mentioned Kierkegaard in my classes. I did not broker anything regarding a lawyer. I have not been invited by the Kobergers to Idaho. I don't know where they'll be staying. I don't know who Bloom's source is or why he reports information for which he has no proof. And that's, you know, when I put out a video this morning because it really upset me. Um, when you know when somebody comes from there, there's supposed to be a lot more integrity in what you do, um, because that's where you grew up, you know.
Well, I
Um,
mean, you got to stop and consider, CJ. You know, she is a renowned teacher, author. I mean, you know, you're messing with her credentials.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying, you know, why with the stuff that he was talking about, I'm like, she why would she do all these things? She would That's career unaliving, self unaliving. You know, to do all of these things, like,
Right.
this is a national case. You know, as soon as he was arrested, before he was arrested, it was international. It's been that way ever since he was put in cuffs. So that's why it's like, no, it's not like somebody did this when nobody knew anything, you know, oh, nobody knew who this was. They knew from the beginning, and so that's why I was like, why would she even do these things?
Exactly.
And it was obvious it wasn't true, because if you really think about it, she wouldn't do those things. Look at what Brian Enton said, you know, even when it came to that. He's like, look, she's upstanding. She's there, none of these things. Like, it just
Well, I
it's
mean, you
sad.
know, the lady's written what 73 books. She's been, an instructor all those years, and she's never had any kind of scandal or drama or anything like that.
Well, and the sad part is Bloom, what Bloom did, his reckless behavior has now added a stain on Ramsland's name. Think
Right.
about it. Because he can sit there and go, "Oh, my error, moving on." But guess what? From this point on, there's going to be people out there that really think that this took place and it has Ramsland's name attached to it. I This is what I wondered as soon as I heard. I wonder if she can really sue him. That's You're defaming her character. You're
Right.
going to affect her business. Like, seriously, this is no joke. You're going to affect her business in the future, and for the future forever.
And I mean, don't be hating just made a very powerful statement. I don't understand why people make stuff up. I mean, there's enough going on that you don't have to make anything up.
No, and it's such disrespect to the victims that you're putting out information out there that is not factual, and you're over all over these YouTube platforms. You're all over Megan Kelly and Nancy Grace and all these other places spewing your BS. And people are sitting there sucking it up. That's why I continue to tell people I was out there talking to the same people. But they looked at me as one of them. They didn't look at me like a fucking grandpa.
But
They
you were
all
out there talking to people, and I guarantee you that, well, I can't guarantee it, I may be wrong, but the way
eh,
I look at it is I bet you a lot of people didn't just say, hey, let me tell you the story. I mean, they seem pretty closed
they
off
were
to it.
I'll tell you this. They were very listen, I this is what that's what I expected, Nina. This is what I did, okay, before I went out there. So before I was going out there, I said the only way, because if they're not going to talk to the cops and they're not going to talk to reporters,
Right,
they're not going to they're not even really talking to they're not going to talk to people who are old, okay? And what they consider old is like 27 and older.
right,
They don't want to talk to no, right? So this is already me. Look, I'm not shaved right now. I just started growing a beard for the first time in like 15 years. But back then, baby face shaving. Okay, when I
right.
go out and about, people when I'm shaved, they're oh damn, how old are you? Like 26, 20? No, man. Like
Yeah.
people are like, dude, you look so fucking young, man. And so when I go, this was I was already in my mind. Okay, dude, as soon as you get there, because this is the only way anybody's gonna tell you stuff in that week that you're out there. I had to fast track things, okay? The thing that I had to do, I went out to each the first day I got there. I went out to each university place and got the gear. Okay, so I looked like a damn student.
Oh, that was smart.
So I looked like a fucking student. So when I'm walking around the campuses wearing the gear,
Right,
looking baby face, they're like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" There so I expected it to be like they ain't going to talk, but when I went there, I dressed in the gear. I looked just like one of their fucking students at their college, and I'm just sitting there going around talking to people asking questions about all sorts of stuff. I'm going to the local stores in the same gear, talking to people at the local stores. We're talking like I just came into town. I'm new. They don't think that I'm an outsider. They just think, "Hey, he's a new guy," you know? They talk to me. And so when I ever since ever since I've been out there November of 2023 and ever since, and when I hear his bullshit about what he can tell you about what's going on out there and what's being talked about and all this other stuff, and I'm sitting there going, bro, I fucking talk to the same people, and that is not what the hell. But all over Megan Kelly, all over Nancy Grace, all over these other huge YouTube platforms. Hey, yeah, this is what's going on, you guys. I got an inside scoop, and I'm sitting there going, dude, this is disgusting. So when I see this shit from this morning, and I'm sorry I'm so passionate about it, because when I started to do this, not talk about moon landings and conspiracies in the very beginning of what I wanted to talk about, aliens, just different things. It had nothing to do with a lot of truth. It didn't even have anything to really, and just, it was just to talk about it. There was no when I started investigating stuff and I started reporting on stuff, I go back to the old school. That's the when I look up at people and I want to try and operate how they operate, I go back to the forefathers.
exactly.
Okay? And so when, it's one thing, it's kind of like we were talking, off air. When it comes to the conspiracies and all the theories and the things that people are willing to say on this platform about these families or victims or any of this stuff. And it's like, man, it there's enough of it already, and you have to expect it on these platforms. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's all over the place. It's called entertainment, and a lot of people treat it that way. Not people like me. I don't treat it as entertainment. I treat it as something that my soul says I need to try and do. Okay? And I don't make entertainment out of it. It's not some kind of, contest where people can vote and buy tickets and all these other things for the fucking show. That's not what it's about.
Well,
But
that's the
when
reason,
somebody like this, sorry.
like, no, like we were talking backstage. I mean, because I'm a newbie as far as the channel goes, and there for a while I'd hear something, and it would just make me mad, and I'd go make a video, and finally, like I told you, I stuck my head in the sand because I was spending more time defending people than I was building my channel. And so I was like, nope, I'm out of it. I've just got to cut it off. I am not a YouTube policer. I am retired.
Yeah, it's and when you're looking, Bloom is this. I go back to the forefathers, okay, and it, because this is what it is. We are reporters. We get information. We dig through information. We report that information. We just don't use a newspaper or some kind of other business to be able to promote our reporting. We have the availability now with technology to be able to report right from our own desk without having to go to some office building. Okay,
Right.
and so when you look to the forefathers, Howard Bloom comes from those forefathers.
Yes, he does.
And this right here should not be happening. And the fact that, listen, you want to say something, about EvilleCJ, you want to say something about Nena, you want to say something about who, what content, whatever. That's one thing, man. Oh yeah, they said this, and they, well, sorry, made a mistake. Because there's so many shows on YouTube that do that already right now.
Right.
Content creators making shit up about other content creators, and then those content creators are coming. It's that's what that is. That's a lot of what you see nowadays already, and it's disgusting. But when it comes to this, no, this is Dr. Catherine Ramsland worked her ass off this whole damn time, just like you have. You both come from the same damn era, and how dare this dude do this to this lady? For the rest of her life, she is now going to be associated with calling Brian Koberger's family, offering Brian Koberger's family some help with lawyer, how they're going to stay together, all of these different things. How Brian, that the fact that you're telling people that the fascination with Ramsland is what led to the crime that took out the 4 students in Idaho. You even went that far. You even went that far to affect the family. Now, Steve Gonzalez's name is going to be attached to that bullshit for the rest of his life. Kaylee's name is going to be attached to that bullshit for the rest of her existence in people's minds. And
That's
all
true.
of these victims, the families, Idaho University, all of it. He has done shit on so many people's names and reputations and hard work. They deserve better than the I apologize for that error. Dude, you know better. You're not some fucking rookie that just came out 3 days ago and can literally be like, look, guys, I'm sorry. I didn't know. No, because you're already. Can we say that about fucking George Washington, Abraham Lincoln? Can we say that about the? No, They're etched in stone. Howard Bloom was going to be etched in stone. He is that forefather when it comes to journalistic reporting, obviously, because look at how successful he became. But now I have to sit here and question every single article and paragraph this man has ever wrote from the end of the 1960s. Because back then, people, when you came out with stuff, they already hey, you already got what you there was a checklist, you guys. Look it up. They had a checklist. I have to check this off. I have to check this off, and I have to check this off before I can report it. They had checklists. This is so dangerous, especially in the day and age when the people that will allow to agree to jump off a damn cliff because they really believe there's cotton balls at the bottom. This is so dangerous because now, and this is why I say it affects her business from this point on. And I'm not going to say it, but this affects her business from this point on because of those cotton ball mentality people, and there's a lot of them, will sit there and believe everything that Howard says was true and will sit there and dismiss what Dr. Catherine Ramsland, well respected, they will just say, oh, she's lying because she had a fascination with Koberger too. Remember when I said it? Watch, guys, the next thing that's going to come out is that Catherine Ramsland had a fascination right back with him, and Howard Bloom is going to say that they were messing in a closet. Remember? I said that when this shit came out. Watch Howard Bloom. I'm not going to say he's going to say, yeah, they were messing in a closet. But what I was trying to say is that he's going to take it as a joke. And then people are really going to think that she's covering up for Brian. They already thought that she was covering up for Brian when he said what he said. When he said she reached out to their family to try and help with this and that and all this other stuff, and they're gonna spend time together and all these other things, and people are like, damn. It's you're trying to get in. Oh no, I maybe we can try. I don't know. Let me see here. It says offline. I was wondering why it was saying offline. Is it just not working, Nena? That's right. You know what I'm saying? Thank you all for being here. I apologize for the buggy mess that this has became this evening. And that's what it is. I am me. That's what it is. Oh, hold on.
I'm back.
Yeah, hold on. We got to do this crazy ass shit here real quick. Oh my gosh. As much as I love this program, I hate it too. All right, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I thought it was weird it said offline. I was like, "What?" But that's what it seems like to me. It seems like, listen, I don't know if the dude did it or not, and I've always said I'm ready for the trial cuz I just want the right person. I just want the right person. I don't care what the name is cuz listen, I don't why should I care whose name it is when they were somebody that could literally commit that crime or act in the first place. I don't give a shit. What I care about is the fact that you committed the crime. So
Well, I mean, the only true justice is the right person in the
that's
defendant's chair.
it. That's it. Because this, in fact, if you get the wrong person, and it's with any case, if you get the wrong person, you're even farther from justice before you didn't have the wrong person. Like you're farther away from justice because how many cases get solved with the correct individual after they already charged somebody else and they got let go? How many times does that happen? Not very many. Because
Right.
all by that time evidence is gone, disappeared, faded away. Interview statements aren't as strong anymore. I mean, there's a lot of different things. And that's what it seems like. I don't know what it is. I honestly can't understand why Howard Bloom would 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 do this. I just don't get it.
The thing about it is, his name is already established. So it's not like he's trying to make a name for himself, and I'm not excusing doing that, trying to make a name, but some people get caught up in it, and they'll do it to try to get their name out there. But his name is already out there. Everybody knows who he is.
Right. And he's already written how many books, so it's not like it's his first book
Right,
and he's coming out like some of these other people that are starting to write books in other cases and they got to create shock value narratives. Sebastian, create shock value narratives to promote a fucking book and a possible movie in the future.
right.
I was talking about, man, this seems like they're about a movie all the way back to last fall when I started backing away from that shit. I'm like, this seems like they're about a movie. I'm not, this is not what I'm about. I'm about this, I'm about Sebastian. And so it they're gonna be about I don't know, maybe the book, maybe he knew that the book wasn't gonna be juicy. I
Right.
I don't understand it, Nina. I really don't, because like I said, the dude comes from the time where there was a lot of, I mean, over integrity involved when it came to the reporting, and the fact that he would go to these lengths. You didn't even need it to sell a book. I'm pretty sure people would have bought the book. Other people that have bought your books already, but maybe it was this thing where I don't know, maybe age, Nina. Maybe he's losing it. I don't know. I
Well, I
don't
mean,
understand why and then you do this to Dr. Catherine Ramsland? That's heavy shit, man.
yeah, I mean, that'd be like doing it to Anne Rule.
Like that's heavy. I don't understand how you even.
I don't understand how you write a book on an open case anyway.
Well, that too. I
I
mean,
mean, nobody knows anything, so all of it, I mean, it would be, to me, it's all speculation, so it would be a fiction
right,
book.
right. Because after the trial, you would have to go back and redact and all that other stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I mean, if I was somebody like that, I wouldn't even attempt to write a book about this case.
No, not about the facts or the evidence for sure.
Exactly. Now,
Your
I
own
mean, I might
experience,
write a
yeah.
fiction book, but not a nonfiction.
Your own experience. Like I'm having a book that is talking about from the how I came across it, how it transformed what I do, how it transformed my soul, my experiences out there in Moscow and Pullman, the conversations that I'm going to be talking about, the different conversations I was having with the people out there, things like that. This is stuff that you don't. It's not going to be in a trial. It's not. It has nothing to do with evidence.
Right.
If it does, it's about just the evidence that's out at the time or whatever. When it comes to the different experiences and interactions that I'm having with different individuals, it has nothing to do with, yeah, so and so went this here and da 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 da. This is because I don't know for sure. It's not about that, but the fact I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe it's a way to pump up. Maybe he's going to have like a series of books, 10 books total, part one, two, three, four. I mean, look at all of his articles that he's writing. How many different fucking parts are there in all of his other articles? There's your books right there. You know, your
Well,
chapters with your headlines.
I,
If
I would hate to know that I would have to come back after the trial and say, well, some of the things I put in that first book,
and
I
then
may I
people
may have to say that they weren't true.
And this is what's so messed up, and I feel so bad about Catherine. And I really wonder, is she going to pursue legal action? Because people are going to look, Howard could be gone tomorrow, and people are going to come across that book 50 years from now. And
But
50 years from now, people that weren't living today, where we're living right now, these people ain't even been a thought yet in Mama and Papa, and they could be coming across this book that Howard wrote and go, "Gosh, remember that crazy dude that committed this crime? And look, the teacher was like trying to save him, and all this other. It's just I don't know the fascination. Oh my gosh, they probably who knows 50 years from now, you see how shit gets spun 50 years from now, people could be talking about how this was some kind of love venture between the two of them. Yeah, you guys remember that professor, Dr. Ramsland, and that murderer, Brian Koberger. Remember how they like had this relationship? It was a student teacher relationship, and she taught people how to become, and she taught him, you guys, she taught him how to become the best he didn't get to SK, maybe, who knows, because there's a lot of talk about other people, but
no, he's only a MK now.
right, but there's been talk shit from when he got arrested about people in Pennsylvania that he was killing, but uh it could be one of those things where people are just coming across that stuff and they're like, wow, what a this little love relationship that turned into this horrific crime, and look, she taught him, and just the spinning that could take place, and that has her name on it, and that's not right.
Well, it's like I said last night. The professor that recommended him made a statement that she had never even met him in person because most of his classes were online. I mean, how personable can you get online?
Well, I never even heard anything about that teacher and him having some kind of relationship to begin with.
Well, I mean, I think everybody just picked Ramsland because she's the popular name.
Well, because it's in Pennsylvania,
Right.
and that was before all of that. Now Ramsland, that it wasn't that far from his home.
Oh,
DeSales
yeah. Yeah.
isn't that far from his home. Um, uh, but this is the crazy thing is it's not only his message. It's like when I brought it up in that video this morning, he's been on all of these airwaves. So when we're talking about these statements and what he was saying before, that was like what, 3 or 4 days of him going on YouTube shows, fucking spewing this shit, and then those content creators are regurgitating the shit that he was spewing, and then he's going on Megan Kelly and Nancy Grace and all of these different programs spewing the same old shit like he's spewing on YouTube. And look at all of these people that contributed to what he did to Dr. Catherine Ramsland, and all of these people are just as guilty. They really are. Because what did when Ram when Howard Blum was going out there, talking about all this stuff, did we report on it? Did we bring it up? Yeah, we brought it up. We said, "Hey, this is what he's saying, and this is a bunch of BS."
You
Because
know,
I don't I smell hot dog steaks.
you know that my platform originally was TikTok, and so one day I see this video, and I it makes me mad because it's making fun of somebody that's strung out, and it made me mad, and so I reposted it and was explaining that this is wrong. You shouldn't be putting it out there. And another creator came to me and they said, you're doing the same thing. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, when you put it back out there, you're putting it out there too. And I'm like, but I'm defending it. I thought I was, and I finally realized, wow, all I did was give that video more airtime, you know, and I didn't mean to be a part of the problem, but I was part of the problem.
TikTok is I look I there I was I'm like, look, I don't need that shit because it's Chinese. Listen, you already know Chinese surveillance, and so when you click that app and hit authorize all, you're fucking stupid. Okay, I'm just saying, like you giving them permission to access all your shit, and you know how they are with their people. So you think they're not going to do that with you? Get out of here. All right, so that was my thing. Like I'm not fucking using it. Okay, screw that shit. But then when it came to Micah Miller's case, that's all the people were doing was communicating on there, and so I had to make one. I literally only had one for a month, and I'm like, this is the most toxic ass shit. Like, if you think 4chan and Reddit is toxic, TikTok is so freaking toxic. I'm just like, dude, this is just nasty ass shit. And I just
Oh,
deleted it. I deleted it. I was like, look, y'all can message me on the fucking telephone. Like
let me tell you, I spent 2.5 years, with
screw
those
that,
left
man.
behind and everything. And
Mm-mm.
finally, that's how I found all y'all. I mean, I left TikTok, and idle hands is the devil's
Oh,
playground, so I had to find something to do.
trust me. That before I even made that TikTok for that Micah Miller case, before the 2 years prior to that, I was on TikTok. I just never had a channel, if that makes sense, Nina.
Oh yeah.
People loved to repost my fucking shit. And I'm like, well, that's nice. That's cool. You don't like literally didn't even add anything to it, just copied my shit, posted it on TikTok. I'm like, damn, I got a platform and I don't even have a platform. Ain't that some shit?
Well, I definitely put my time in. I went live every night from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Woo!
because, yeah, every night, 7 nights a week. And
Holy
the
hell.
reason
Well,
why is because
time.
people that are trying to recover, that's some of the worst times of the time of night when they're sitting there all alone. And so I did it so
Yeah.
they could come in and have somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Yeah. Yeah, that's
But see, it got so toxic, it was
Busby.
taken away from me giving purpose to David's death because it was so toxic that I was like, this not doing right by David.
No, it is. It's so toxic. There's even YouTube is starting to get that way now, especially with the Sebastian Rogers case. It's becoming like TikTok. It's
Lord,
people
I don't even click on a Sebastian.
like it's a lot of these cases, honestly, but a lot of the top of the mountain is the Sebastian Rogers case where there's just so many people just it's gone beyond like what we were talking about before the show about all the theories and the crazy
Right,
ass speculation with this case. It's gone beyond that point. It's gone beyond that point of the crazy speculation to the point of we're just going to talk about the other content creator, like
right.
that's all it is. And it's just so sad. And it's all hate filled, spewed drama, just a bunch of hate on both sides. You have the people that are using religion and being like being a good person, like just totally just trashing on the other side, and they're trashing them back, and it's a constant, and they feed each other because this one feeds the other one, and they go back and forth and back and forth. back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it's just becoming, uh that nasty muck. It's really changed a lot, not just over the last couple years, but especially since the last few months. It has gone in such a drastic, toxic direction. Even more, I mean, fast speed. It would be like you're looking at a graph bar, and it's got a gradual incline, and all of a sudden it just shoots up. And that's what it's been the last few months, when it comes to all the toxicity that is created with victims, families, and communities' names on the back of it. Even professionals and stuff like this right here. This just creates so much more toxicity, not only in the case, but just in the genre itself. Um,
And see, that's just like, the little funnies that, I talked about. I won't put like Maddie and Kaylee and them's hashtag on there and everything because it's not about them. I'm not going to use a hashtag that I'm not talking about. Does that make sense? I mean, just to put it out there to get people to look at it.
yeah, it's got to be about the whatever the topic you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know
I
that.
mean, if I'm not talking about Idaho 4, I'm not going to put an Idaho 4 hashtag on there.
Yeah, yeah. It's So it's, as much as there's crazy speculation theories and all that, like this right here, which is just going to create even more of them. And poor Dr. Catherine Ramsland, that's going to have to deal with the people that think that Howard Bloom's telling the truth and she's somehow hiding, or working with Brian Koberger, or maybe, I feel bad for her because she didn't do anything to deserve this. All she did was be a professor, a teacher to one of the students. It's not her fault one of the students did something or is being accused of doing something. It's not her fault. He wasn't even going to that school anymore when this took place. They
Right.
never had any contact after school. So the fact that she's having to even have her name, or to deal with this, is wrong, period. And just the gaslighting right here, she deserves so much better. And I really feel bad because, as much as you want to hope that nothing, um, that she's not going to get affected from this point on for eternity, even after both of them pass away from this earth, her name is still going to be attached to this stuff even after. And that's what I really feel uh, upset about, is because, when you're doing this stuff, these are people's names, you
Right.
know and it's one thing. It's like we could have all this speculation, but we're not going to go speculate it on court TV, because you got to have like documents and all this other stuff, not just some idea off of what you're seeing, because you don't have the complete picture. And that's the stuff that you don't go up there and talk about stuff you don't have the complete picture of. And and this is one of these things. And because of his name, he gets that special, you know uh spot up there, where it it's going to be just as valuable as being on, court TV or something like that. But really, you just putting out the tweet has a lot of just that much power. It's not like us over here, where we're sitting here talking nightly about different things. It's not like it's being um, it's not like it's being put on mainstream media, or has that kind of level that mainstream media does. Because people can come across the things that I'm saying about the conversations that took place, and look at me and go, "Who the fuck are you?" You know. Even though
Well,
I
it's
was
like I
out
said.
there and I was talking to people, but they'll look at Bloom and be like, "Hey, that's a respected journalist." Okay.
It's like I said last night. I'm not ever going to be arrogant enough to say that I can sit in Alabama and solve the Idaho 4 case. And so anything that any of us say is assumption, speculation, theory, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I guess some people take that and run with it like it's facts, you know, and I guess some people say that that's not the creator's fault, but really, in a way, it is.
They know better. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody should have known when the dude came out and started talking like he was in the back seat of the car with Koberger and his dad going back to Pennsylvania. That tells you all you needed to know. It told me all I needed to know. Because when I'm sitting there going, this is straight clickbait. This is not even true. And so when you can sit there and look past that and then promote the messages that are continuing to get spewed out of this man's mouth, shame on every single one of you, because every single one of you should have known better when he came out talking about, quote, being not necessarily I was in the back seat, but boy, he was talking like he was in the back seat. Not only talking like he was in the back seat, but also talking like he was inside each one of their brains too.
And see, really, I mean, I have to admit, I'm sort of out of the loop on this because if it concerns him, I don't
You
even
got to
click on
read it.
it.
You got to read it. Like, maybe you know what, I when I started to read the book and I quit and I'm like, I can't, I'm not going to promote this bullshit. Just like what I'm trying to explain tonight. Like, there's a that's I already had a live set up. It was ready to go. You know, we were gearing up. We were going to make a whole bunch of different part series out of it. And when I got to that first couple chapters and I seen the bullshit narrative, I'm like, I cannot report this, and I can't have people come across my shit and Kieran Howard Bloom say this shit because they're gonna think it's fucking true. And I just took the damn video down. Didn't even care. I quit
Right.
reading it. Maybe I should, because I refer to it a lot, and just like I refer to the whole you got to change your license plates as soon as you get to Idaho, and then I played the video a couple nights ago, the first time in a couple years, and people are like, "Holy shit!"
I remember that.
I'm seeing the comments right now from like, "Holy shit! I didn't know that." You're
Yeah.
absolutely.
You don't want to be
You
an
got to
outsider.
listen, I can refer to it as much as I want. Sometimes you have to show it. And you know what? Maybe I should read that fucking chapter of him talking about it so you guys can really hear what he was saying. And what I'll do after the show is I'll clip the fucking part out. Because I don't even want it to be on there, honestly. But maybe I need to read it and you guys can see the words and you can just literally hear what he's saying about it, like he's in the back seat in their brains. That right there should have told everybody, just like it told me. That's a hot dog steak. And all of the airtime, all of the airtime that he has got on these YouTube streets, on the mainstream media avenues, promoting this stuff about Catherine Ramsland. I'm glad that we don't and didn't report on that to the extent where promoting this BS, because I would literally be going through my shit trying to edit out that shit, especially with Dr. Catherine Ramsland. So disrespectful. It kicked you again. You know what is I don't know, you guys. Well, you know what? maybe maybe I'll just leave this episode what it is. Let me yeah, Nina, I'll reach out to you. Maybe Wednesday night. I need to figure out, and I'll have another show here and I'll kind of chit chat with you guys. I'm going to leave this up as I'm going to change the title and we'll have it as discussing Howard Bloom, Catherine Ramsland, stuff. Kind of like the video this morning. If you haven't seen the video from this morning, I'll drop the link here in chat and you can hear what I have to say about it from this morning. I have to figure out. I'm gonna take the rest of this evening. Um, I'm gonna take the rest of this evening, and I'm gonna try and figure out what is going on with this program. I apologize about all of that. So after this is done, I'm definitely gonna edit the 10 minutes of rain and thunder and I'm gonna try and clip it and clean it up a little bit, so that way people don't just click on it and see all this crazy ass crap. But I need to figure out what the hell's going on with this program. I need to figure out if it's even worth continuing to use. I don't know. Um, I gotta figure out. I gotta figure out some program stuff and maybe I don't know. I'm gonna be figuring that out. So if you're over at the lounge and you see a bunch of notifications coming through tonight, I'm just gonna be testing some stuff. So just keep that in mind. I need to try and figure out this program stuff, but there's the link for that episode if you want to check it out. I put out that video this morning, and shout out to all you guys for hanging out. I do apologize with all the bug stuff. Let me know. Let me know. Because I don't know if I'm gonna keep having these issues. I just might have to go back to StreamYard. I like the whole setup, and I like how I can move around with the program and the customization and all the things that I can do with it. But um, I don't know. I just got to figure out what's worth it. So I apologize. I got to figure it out. I know it keeps kicking people off. Because, well, what I'm thinking of is I could still have StreamYard for the parties, but then people don't see the chat. So I don't know. This is the problem, and I don't want to make it too long of a story, but like you can see, there's some cool features. There's some cool features that we get with this program. Unfortunately, there's some not cool bugs that come along with it. And then when it comes to StreamYard, there's some different bugs, but they don't have the cool features that this one does. And so it's kind of like you got to choose the lesser of two pieces of shit. Is the best way to put it. So let me know. All right. You guys have been here long enough. You know the different programs, you know the different bugs. Let me know. Because really, it's all about you guys. You guys are the ones that take your time to come here and spend your time with us. And so let me know uh, what you think might be better. Because I don't know. I really got to figure this out. So I love you guys. We'll see you on the next live, and I'm gonna be doing some testing over at the lounge. I gotta figure this out. Love you guys. Be safe, and let me know what you think about this Catherine Ramsland, Howard Bloom stuff. And honestly, I think there is some kind of defamation going on there. Love you.
So is it domestic related? She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again. And then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Stop out with this. 2412. I might call it today of a female veteran's communication. She's nowhere to stay. Detective 12, take the check coming out. 614, 617. Offender in custody. Please come forward. Anyone else close by this person, let me know. 10-5. 33. 10-4.